Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's thought for the day. Every picture tells a story. How often, I wonder, have we either heard that phrase or used that phrase? And it was something that we used many years ago when I was in training. And we were given two pictures to look at on this particular session. Um, One was an extremely simple painting, and it was a picture of a priest stood slightly to one side of his altar, wearing just his white cassock and green stole, and he was holding above his head the host. We were then given a second picture to look at, and it was an extremely ornate picture, full of busyness and action, and there was a lot of clergy in this team. They were all wearing scarlet robes with very pretty lacy overlay surplices. They were all obviously facing the altar, so they were facing east. They were in tiers going up. There was gold painting on the altar. There were lots of candles on the altar. And as you looked into this picture more and more, you could keep on seeing more things. Well, the picture was stopped after 5 minutes, excuse me, and our lecturer said, okay, what was the focus in both these pictures? Well, the first one, it was quite simple. He said it had to be the host. The priest was stood there holding the host. Yes, okay, that's fine. What about this other picture, the second picture? And as a group, we went through all the different things we'd seen, all the things we'd picked out of that picture. And he said, now have another look. And he enlarged the centre section of the picture. And there, a very diminutive figure was stood holding just above his head what was obviously the host. And it sort of reminded us about how, when we look at things that God has provided or given us, how much of what is around us can hide God, can actually, all the detritus of life, if you like, can hide God. And it's like I said last week when I saw my little dewdrop glistening in the morning sunlight, and it became like a diamond. The simplicity of something can tell us a much greater story. And it's something it's sort of stuck with me over the years. And I can remember a little bit later on we were given films to look at, and not the great biblical epics to look at. And I was actually given The Matrix to look at, to go through and to pick out sort of faith elements within that story. And that's something that sort of resonates with me quite a lot. Now, Saturday, when I was walking back from my son's house, we're going along Green Lane. As you know, that where they've changed the junction on Green Lane, you've got a couple of sections where the pavement is particularly wide. And coming towards me was a little girl on her scooter, um, with Dad a little bit further behind her. And as she saw me, as she approached me, she got to this wide section. She stopped. She got off of her scooter. She moved across onto the grass, and she stood there, and every so often looking back at Dad to say, "I'm waiting, Dad. I'm here." I was still a little way off to watch them. All the time I was coming forward, she stayed there, keep on looking back to Dad. So I moved as far away from her as I could to the hedge, bowed my head, said thank you to her, and the most beautiful smile just beamed across her face that I'd said thank you to her, and then thanked Dad and said good morning and passed on by. Now, as that thought sort of gradually worked through, I think here is the absolute ideal picture of how we, as children of God, need to continually look to where God is to say, is this what you wanted me to do? Am I doing it right? Can you guide me a little bit more? And that was sort of in the most simplistic way of having God in our lives. Excuse me, I have to cough again. He's there all the time, just in everything we see. And I'm wondering if sometimes we don't look at things with clear view and clear vision. And I just challenge you, actually challenge your thinking. when you go out and about, it's a little bit like yesterday and Richard and his last piece of his puzzle, where things are not quite what they seem until you turn this puzzle round and fit it in the place um, in your jigsaw. But when you're out and about, have a look and see where God is in the actions of others, where God is, is it that smile that that little girl gave me? Was it when she was looking back to her dad saying, am I right, Dad? Am I doing this right? Is this what you wanted me to do? It might have been that she'd been told if she ever sees anybody when she's out on her scooter, she should stop and give people room. It might have been because of the teaching over COVID. I'll not know that. But whatever it was, for me, it was a beautiful picture. So I would say, have a good look at pictures around and look at things with the innocence of a child's eye. And we tend to forget that as we get older. We pick up so much rubbish on our journey through life. And so it's sort of an opportunity, if you like, just to shed that rubbish, to go back and look at things with the innocence of a child's eye, to be like children, not childish, but to be like children in their innocence, to look to our Father in heaven for that little bit of guidance, and He'll be there, and He'll move us on to the direction He wants us to go. Now, I'm going to take the opportunity next week, as it's half term. I should have been away in my caravan in a Welsh field somewhere, but obviously I can't go to Wales now. But I should take the opportunity of having a little break next week. So hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Keep looking out for those pictures. Perhaps if you can think of something you'd like to let me know, I'd love to hear. So be safe. And for those of you that are on half-term holiday, have a safe break, and I hope you get some peace and quiet with the children at home. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Blessings be with you.